Gabriel sat in his empty mansion at 3 in the morning, the divorce papers scattered across his mahogany desk like fallen leaves. His hands shook as he held the pen that had never signed them. How could he sign papers to divorce a woman who was already gone? Sarah had died in that car accident 6 months ago, and these papers felt like the final proof of what a failure he had been as a husband. The house felt too big, too quiet, too full of memories that cut like glass. Upstairs, his 8-year-old daughter Emma slept in her room, but she might as well have been on another planet. She barely looked at him anymore, barely spoke to him, barely acknowledged that he existed. 3 nannies had quit in the past month, all saying the same thing. Emma was too difficult, too sad, too angry. Gabriel pushed back from his desk and walked to the window that overlooked the city lights. His hotel empire sprawled below him, 23 properties across the country, each one more successful than the last. But what good was success when your own daughter couldn't stand to be in the same room with you? The truth was he didn't blame Emma for hating him. He had failed Sarah, failed their marriage, failed at being the kind of father and husband his family deserved. The night Sarah died, they had been fighting again. About money, about time, about the fact that he was never home. She had stormed out, gotten in her car, and driven straight into that intersection where a drunk driver ran a red light. Gabriel's reflection stared back at him from the window, hollow-eyed and haunted. He looked older than his 35 years, worn down by grief and guilt and the crushing weight of trying to raise a daughter who looked at him like he was a stranger. The intercom on his desk buzzed, making him jump. "Mr. Richardson?" came the voice of his night security guard. "Is everything all right? I saw the lights on in your office." Gabriel pressed the button. "Everything's fine, James. Just couldn't sleep." But everything wasn't fine. Nothing had been fine since Sarah died, and Gabriel was starting to think nothing ever would be again. Tomorrow he would have to find another nanny, another stranger to care for his daughter because he didn't know how to do it himself. Tomorrow he would have to face another day of Emma's silence, another day of feeling like he was failing the most important person in his world. He picked up one of the divorce papers and stared at Sarah's signature, still fresh and bold even though she had been gone for months. She had signed them the day she died, left them on his desk with a note that said she couldn't do this anymore, couldn't pretend they were happy when they both knew they weren't. Gabriel crumpled the paper in his fist, then smoothed it out again. He couldn't throw it away. It was all he had left of her anger, her frustration, her pain. It was proof that he had driven away the woman he loved, that he had been so focused on building his empire that he had forgotten to build a home. The clock on his desk chimed 4 times, and Gabriel realized he had been standing there for an hour, lost in his thoughts. Upstairs, Emma would wake up in 3 hours and she would ask for her mother like she did every morning. And like every morning, Gabriel would have to watch his daughter's face crumble when she remembered that her mother was never coming back. He had tried everything. Therapy, family counseling, expensive toys, trips to fancy restaurants, anything to make Emma smile, to make her talk to him, to make her forgive him for all the ways he had failed her. But nothing worked. She just looked at him with those big brown eyes that were so much like Sarah's, and he could see the disappointment there, the sadness, the longing for someone who would never come home. Gabriel walked back to his desk and sat down heavily in his chair. The divorce papers seemed to mock him, a reminder of all his failures spread out before him. He had built a business empire, but he couldn't build a relationship with his own daughter. He had millions of dollars, but he couldn't buy back his wife's love or his daughter's trust. The house creaked around him, settling into the quiet hours before dawn. Somewhere in the city, people were waking up, starting their days, kissing their children goodbye, telling their spouses they loved them. Simple, ordinary moments that Gabriel would give everything to have back. He thought about the nanny who had quit yesterday, a kind woman named Mrs. Patterson who had lasted longer than most. She had pulled him aside before leaving and said something that had haunted him all night. "That little girl doesn't need another caregiver, Mr. Richardson. She needs her father. But more than that, she needs someone who can love her the way her mother did." Gabriel had wanted to argue, to tell Mrs. Patterson that he did love Emma, that he would do anything for her. But the words had stuck in his throat because he knew she was right. Emma didn't need his money or his guilt or his attempts to make up for lost time. She needed something he didn't know how to give her, the kind of love that made her feel safe and cherished and whole. As the first light of dawn began to creep through the windows, Gabriel made a decision. He couldn't keep doing this, couldn't keep failing his daughter, couldn't keep hiring strangers to fill the hole that Sarah's death had left in their lives. He had to find a way to connect with Emma, to be the father she needed, to show her that even though her mother was gone, she still had someone who loved her more than life itself. He gathered up the divorce papers and locked them away in his desk drawer. Sarah was gone, but Emma was still here, still fighting, still hoping for something better. And Gabriel was going to figure out how to give it to her, even if it killed him. The sun was rising over the city, painting the sky in shades of pink and gold. It was a new day and Gabriel was going to make it count. He was going to find a way to reach his daughter, to break through the wall of silence and sadness that had built up between them. He was going to figure out how to be the father Emma deserved, the father Sarah had wanted him to be. He just hoped it wasn't too late. Gabriel stood outside Emma's bedroom door, listening to the sounds of another morning routine falling apart. The new nanny, Mrs. Chin, was trying to coax Emma into getting dressed, but Gabriel could hear the frustration in her voice. "Emma, sweetheart, you need to put on your school uniform," Mrs. Chin said patiently. "Your father is waiting for you downstairs." "I don't want to go to school," Emma's small voice replied, muffled by what Gabriel assumed were blankets pulled over her head. "I want to stay here." Gabriel knocked softly on the door. "Emma? It's me. Can I come in?" Silence. Then Mrs. Chin opened the door looking frazzled. "She's been like this all morning, Mr. Richardson. I don't know what else to try." Gabriel looked past her to see Emma curled up on her bed, still in her pajamas, clutching a stuffed rabbit that had been a gift from her mother. His heart ached at the sight of his daughter, so small and sad and lost. "Emma," he said gently, sitting on the edge of her bed. "What if we don't go to school today? What if we do something different?" Emma peeked out from under her blankets, her dark eyes wary. "Like what?" Gabriel thought for a moment. They had tried everything: fancy, expensive restaurants, theme parks, shopping trips. Nothing had worked. Maybe it was time to try something simple. "How about we go get some breakfast? Just you and me. Somewhere we've never been before." Emma considered this, her thumb finding its way to her mouth, a habit she had picked up since her mother died. "Can we go to a place that's not fancy?" Gabriel smiled, the first real smile he had felt in weeks. "The least fancy place we can find." An hour later, Gabriel found himself pulling into the parking lot of Rosie's Diner, a small restaurant with faded red vinyl booths and a neon sign that flickered intermittently. It was exactly the kind of place he would never normally go, which made it perfect. Emma's eyes were wide as they walked through the door, taking in the mismatched furniture and the smell of bacon grease and coffee. It was nothing like the pristine restaurants they usually visited, and Gabriel could see something shift in her expression, a tiny spark of curiosity. "Welcome to Rosie's," called a cheerful voice. Gabriel turned to see a young woman with dark skin and kind eyes walking toward them, a coffee pot in one hand and a genuine smile on her face. She was wearing a simple uniform with a name tag that read Lily, and there was something about her warmth that immediately put Gabriel at ease. "Table for two?" Lily asked, and when Gabriel nodded, she led them to a booth by the window. "I'm Lily and I'll be taking care of you today. What can I get you started with?" Emma slid into the booth and immediately began studying the colorful placemats with pictures of cartoon animals. Lily noticed and crouched down to Emma's level. "I like your rabbit," Lily said, nodding toward the stuffed animal Emma still clutched. "What's his name?" Emma looked up, surprised. "Her name is Coco. She's a girl rabbit." "Oh, I'm sorry. What's her name?" Emma's voice was barely a whisper. "Coco. My mom gave her to me." Something flickered in Lily's expression, a flash of understanding and compassion that made Gabriel's chest tighten. "Coco is a beautiful name. And she looks like she's very special to you." Emma nodded, and for the first time in months, Gabriel saw her smile. It was small and tentative, but it was there. "You know what?" Lily said, standing up. "I bet Coco would love some hot chocolate. We make the best hot chocolate in the city. Would you like to try some?" Emma looked to Gabriel, who nodded encouragingly. "I'd like that," she said softly. "Perfect. And what about you, Dad? Coffee?" Gabriel was struck by how natural she made it sound, how she didn't ask if he was really Emma's father or comment on how different they looked. She just accepted them as they were. "Coffee would be great, thank you." Lily returned a few minutes later with a steaming mug of coffee for Gabriel and a cup of hot chocolate for Emma, complete with whipped cream and a sprinkle of cinnamon. But what made Emma's eyes light up was the tiny marshmallow shaped like a rabbit that floated on top. "For Coco," Lily said with a wink. "I thought she might like to have a friend." Emma giggled, actually giggled, and Gabriel felt something loosen in his chest. When was the last time he had heard his daughter laugh? "Now," Lily said, pulling out her order pad, "what sounds good for breakfast? We have pancakes, waffles, eggs, bacon, or if you're feeling adventurous, I can make you something special." "What kind of something special?" Emma asked, leaning forward with interest. Lily pretended to think very seriously. "Well, I could make you rainbow pancakes with different colored batters. Or I could make you eggs that look like sunshine. Or..." She paused dramatically. I could make you the most amazing grilled cheese sandwich you've ever had, with the bread cut into fun shapes. Emma's eyes were wide with wonder. Really? You can do all that? I sure can. Cooking is like magic, and everyone deserves a little magic with their breakfast. Gabriel watched this exchange with growing amazement. Lily had spent 5 minutes with Emma and already had her more engaged than he had seen her in months. There was something about this woman, something warm and genuine and utterly without pretense. I want the sunshine eggs, Emma said decisively. And maybe some of the rainbow pancakes too? Lily laughed. A girl after my own heart. Rainbow pancakes and sunshine eggs it is. And what about you, mister? Gabriel Richardson. And just coffee and whatever you recommend. I recommend the breakfast special. 2 eggs, bacon, hash browns, and toast. Simple but satisfying. After Lily left to place their order, Emma turned to Gabriel with more animation than he had seen from her in weeks. Daddy, she's really nice. And she likes cocoa. Gabriel felt his throat tighten. She's very nice. And she seems to like you too. Do you think she really can make rainbow pancakes? I think she can do anything she puts her mind to. They sat in comfortable silence for a moment, watching the morning crowd of regulars chat with each other and with Lily, who seemed to know everyone's name and their usual orders. There was something about this place, something warm and welcoming that made Gabriel feel more relaxed than he had in months. When their food arrived, Gabriel understood why Lily had been so confident. Emma's pancakes were indeed rainbow-colored pink, blue, yellow, and green stacked in a colorful tower. The eggs were perfectly round and golden, arranged to look like a smiling sun. Emma clapped her hands in delight. It's like art, she exclaimed. But art you can eat. Lily beamed. That's exactly right. Food should make you happy, not just full. As they ate, Emma chattered more than Gabriel had heard her talk in months. She told Lily about Coco, about her school, about how she missed her mother but liked the rainbow pancakes. Lily listened with the kind of attention that made Emma bloom like a flower in sunlight. Gabriel found himself studying Lily as she moved around the diner, refilling coffee cups and checking on other customers. She was beautiful, but it was more than that. She had a warmth that drew people to her, a genuine kindness that seemed to come from somewhere deep inside. When she came back to refill his coffee, Gabriel found himself asking, "Have you been working here long?" "About 2 years," Lily said. "I love it here. Rosie's like a second mother to me, and the customers are like family. Do you have plans to... do you want to work in restaurants forever?" Lily's smile faltered slightly. "Actually, I'm saving up for culinary school. I want to open my own restaurant someday. But that's still a long way off." Gabriel was about to ask more when Emma tugged on his sleeve. "Daddy, can we come back here tomorrow?" Gabriel looked at his daughter's hopeful face, then at Lily's kind smile, and felt something shift inside him. For the first time since Sarah died, he felt like maybe, just maybe, things might be okay. "We'll see," he said, but he was already planning to come back the next day. 3 days later, Gabriel found himself pulling into Rosie's parking lot again. Emma had asked to come back every day since their first visit, and Gabriel hadn't had the heart to say no. The truth was, he wanted to come back too. There was something about the diner, about Lily's warm presence, that made both of them feel lighter. "Is Miss Lily working today?" Emma asked as they walked toward the entrance, Coco tucked securely under her arm. "I hope so," Gabriel replied, and he meant it. The moment they walked through the door, Lily's face lit up. "Well, if it isn't my favorite customers. Emma, how's Coco doing today?" Emma giggled and held up her stuffed rabbit. "She's good. She's been looking forward to more hot chocolate." "I bet she has. Let me get you two settled." Lily led them to the same booth they had sat in before, and Gabriel realized she had been saving it for them. The thought touched him more than it should have. "So," Lily said, sliding into the booth across from them for a moment, "what's the special occasion today? You both look extra happy." Emma's face fell slightly. "It's my birthday," she said quietly. "I'm 8 now." Gabriel's heart clenched. He had been dreading this day for weeks, knowing it would be Emma's first birthday without her mother. They had reservations at an expensive restaurant later, but Gabriel had been worried about how Emma would handle it. Lily's expression softened. "Well, happy birthday, Emma. 8 is a very important age. That's when you start having real opinions about things." "Really?" Emma perked up slightly. "Oh yes. 8-year-olds know exactly what they like and what they don't like. They're very smart and very brave." Gabriel watched this exchange with growing admiration. Lily had a gift for making Emma feel special without making her feel different or sad. "You know what?" Lily said, standing up. I think a birthday girl deserves something extra special. Give me a few minutes, okay? She disappeared into the kitchen, leaving Gabriel and Emma alone. Emma was swinging her legs under the table, looking more animated than she had all morning. I like Miss Lily, Emma said. She makes me feel happy. She makes me feel happy too, Gabriel admitted. When Lily returned 20 minutes later, she was carrying a plate with a small stack of pancakes shaped like a birthday cake, complete with whipped cream frosting, and a single candle stuck in the top. I know it's not a real birthday cake, Lily said, setting the plate in front of Emma, but I thought Coco might like to help you make a wish. Emma's eyes filled with tears, but they were happy tears. This is the most beautiful cake I've ever seen. Gabriel felt his own eyes getting misty. No one had ever gone to such trouble for Emma, not even him. He watched as his daughter closed her eyes, made a wish, and blew out the candle with Coco's help. What did you wish for? Lily asked. Emma looked at her seriously. I can't tell you or it won't come true. But it was a really good wish. After Emma had eaten her special birthday breakfast, Lily sat down with them again. So, what else are you doing for your birthday today? We're going to a fancy restaurant for dinner, Emma said. But I like it better here. Gabriel felt a pang of guilt. He had chosen the expensive restaurant because he thought that's what Emma would want, what would make her happy. But sitting here in this simple diner, watching his daughter laugh and smile, he realized he had been wrong about a lot of things. Well, Lily said, fancy restaurants are nice, but the best meals are the ones you share with people you care about. And judging by how much your dad loves you, I bet you'll have a wonderful time. Emma looked at Gabriel with surprise. You love me, Daddy? Gabriel felt like he had been punched in the chest. Of course I love you, Emma. More than anything in the whole world. But you're always so sad, Emma said quietly. I thought maybe you didn't want me anymore. Gabriel slid out of his side of the booth and into Emma's side, pulling her close. Oh, sweetheart. I've been sad because I miss your mom, and because I don't always know how to be a good daddy to you. But I always want you. You're the most important thing in my life. Emma leaned into him, and Gabriel felt her small body relax against his. I miss Mommy too, she whispered. I know you do. And that's okay. We can miss her together. Lily quietly got up and busied herself at another table, giving them privacy for their moment. Gabriel was grateful for her sensitivity, for the way she seemed to understand exactly what they needed. When they finally separated, Emma's eyes were brighter. Daddy? Can we come back here tomorrow too? Gabriel looked over at Lily, who was pretending not to listen but was clearly hoping for his answer. I think we can arrange that. As they were getting ready to leave, Gabriel approached Lily at the counter. Thank you, he said quietly, for everything you did today. You made her birthday special. Lily smiled. She's a special little girl. She just needed someone to see that. Gabriel hesitated, then asked, Would you like to join us for dinner tonight? I mean, if you're not working. I know it's short notice, but Emma would love it, and honestly, so would I. Lily looked surprised. Oh, I couldn't. I mean, it's your daughter's birthday dinner. That's family time. Sometimes family is the people who make you feel like you belong, Gabriel said. And you've made both of us feel more like we belong than we have in months. Lily bit her lip, considering. I get off at 6. Perfect. I'll pick you up at 7? Okay, Lily said, and her smile was so bright it made Gabriel's chest warm. I'd like that. As they walked back to the car, Emma skipped ahead, humming happily. Gabriel couldn't remember the last time she had skipped, couldn't remember the last time he had seen her so genuinely happy. Daddy? Emma called back to him. Is Miss Lily coming to dinner? Yes, she is. Emma stopped skipping and turned to face him, her expression serious. Good. I think she likes us. Gabriel smiled. I think she does too. As they drove home, Gabriel found himself thinking about Lily's kindness, about the way she had made Emma feel special and loved. He thought about the way she had listened to Emma's stories with genuine interest, the way she had gone out of her way to make a birthday cake out of pancakes, the way she had given them space when they needed it but stayed close enough to provide comfort. He hadn't felt this hopeful in months. For the first time since Sarah died, he felt like maybe they could build something new, something good. Maybe they could find their way back to being a family again. Emma fell asleep in the car, her head resting against the window, Coco clutched in her arms. Gabriel looked at her in the rearview mirror and made a silent promise. He was going to be better for her. He was going to figure out how to be the father she deserved. And maybe, just maybe, Lily would be there to help them along the way. 2 weeks had passed since Emma's birthday dinner, and their daily visits to Rosie's diner had become the highlight of both Gabriel and Emma's days. The expensive restaurant had been nice, but Emma had spent the entire evening talking about Lily and asking when they could go back to the diner. Gabriel had realized that night that his daughter didn't need fancy things to be happy. She needed connection, warmth, and people who genuinely cared about her. "Miss Lily?" Emma called out as they entered the diner, racing ahead of Gabriel to their usual booth. It was a Saturday morning, and the place was busier than usual, filled with families enjoying weekend breakfast together. Lily looked up from the coffee she was pouring for another customer and smiled. "Good morning, sunshine. How's Coco doing today?" "She's really good. She learned a new trick." Emma held up her stuffed rabbit and made it do a little hop across the table. "See? She can dance." Lily laughed, a sound that made Gabriel's chest warm every time he heard it. "That's amazing. Coco is very talented." Gabriel slid into the booth across from Emma, watching as Lily finished serving her other customers before making her way over to them. She moved with an easy grace, chatting with regulars, remembering their names and their orders, making everyone feel welcome. "The usual?" Lily asked, pulling out her order pad. "Actually," Gabriel said, "I was wondering if you might have time to sit with us for a few minutes? If you're not too busy." Lily glanced around the diner. The morning rush was winding down, and her colleague Rosa was handling the other tables. "I think I can spare a few minutes. Let me just get Emma her hot chocolate first." When she returned with Emma's drink and Gabriel's coffee, she slid into the booth next to Emma. "So, what's new in your world?" Emma immediately launched into a detailed account of her week at school, telling Lily about her art project and her new friend Jessica and how she had finally learned to tie her shoes properly. Gabriel watched, amazed by how easily Emma opened up to Lily, how natural their conversation felt. "And guess what?" Emma said, bouncing in her seat. "Daddy said we can cook dinner together tonight. He's going to teach me how to make pasta." Lily raised an eyebrow and looked at Gabriel with amusement. "Is that so? Are you a good cook, Mr. Richardson?" Gabriel felt his cheeks warm. "I'm adequate. I can manage basic things." "He makes really good grilled cheese," Emma said loyally. "But he burns the toast sometimes." Lily laughed. "Well, cooking is all about practice. And having fun while you do it." "Do you like to cook?" Emma asked. "I love to cook. It's my favorite thing in the whole world." Emma's eyes lit up. "Really? What's your favorite thing to make?" Lily thought for a moment. "I love making comfort food. Things that make people feel happy and safe. Like soup when you're sick, or cookies when you're sad, or a really good pot roast when you want to feel like everything's going to be okay." Gabriel found himself leaning forward, drawn in by the passion in Lily's voice. "Is that why you want to open your own restaurant?" Lily nodded. "I want to create a place where people feel like they're home, you know? Where families can come together and friends can catch up and everyone leaves feeling a little bit better than when they came in." "Like this place," Emma said, gesturing around the diner. "Exactly like this place. Rosie taught me that food is about more than just eating. It's about connection, about caring for people." Gabriel watched as Lily talked about her dreams, her eyes bright with enthusiasm. He had built a business empire, but he had never felt as passionate about anything as Lily clearly felt about cooking. "Tell me more about your restaurant idea," he said. "What would it be like?" Lily's cheeks flushed slightly. "Oh, you probably don't want to hear about all that. It's just a silly dream." "It's not silly at all," Gabriel said firmly. "I'd really like to hear about it." Emma nodded eagerly. "Me too. Tell us, Miss Lily." Lily looked between them, then seemed to make a decision. "Okay, but you asked for it. I want to open a place that's somewhere between a diner and a fine dining restaurant. Good food but approachable. A place where a family can come for Sunday dinner, but also where someone can come alone and not feel lonely." She paused, then continued with growing excitement. "I want to have a community table where people can sit together if they want to meet new friends. And I want to have cooking classes for kids so they can learn that food is fun and creative. And maybe a little herb garden out back where people can pick their own herbs for their meals." Gabriel found himself captivated by her vision. "That sounds incredible. Have you thought about location? Funding?" Lily's expression dimmed slightly. "That's the hard part. I've been saving for years, but it's going to take a lot more than I have. And finding the right location in this city?" She shrugged. "Like I said, it's just a dream right now." "Dreams are important," Emma said seriously. "Mommy used to say that dreams are like seeds. You have to plant them and take care of them, and then they grow into real things." Gabriel felt his heart squeeze at the mention of Sarah, but for once, it didn't hurt as much as it used to. Emma was talking about her mother naturally, without the overwhelming sadness that usually accompanied any mention of her. "Your mommy sounds like she was very wise," Lily said gently. She was. She had lots of dreams too. She wanted to write a book someday. Gabriel realized he had never known that about Sarah. In all their years together, she had never mentioned wanting to write a book. How many things had he missed? How many dreams had she kept to herself? "What kind of book?" Lily asked. "Stories for kids. About brave girls who go on adventures and help people." "That sounds like a wonderful kind of book to write." Emma nodded solemnly. "I think she would have been really good at it." She told the best bedtime stories. They sat in comfortable silence for a moment, and Gabriel marveled at how Lily had helped Emma talk about her mother without making it sad or difficult. She had a gift for making people feel safe to share their feelings. "You know what?" Lily said, standing up. "I think it's time for a cooking lesson. Would you like to help me make your breakfast today, Emma?" Emma's face lit up. "Really? Can I?" "Of course. But we'll have to ask your dad if it's okay." Gabriel nodded, touched by the way Lily always checked with him before including Emma in anything. "I think that's a great idea." Lily led Emma behind the counter and into the kitchen, where she tied a small apron around Emma's waist. Gabriel watched through the service window as Lily showed Emma how to crack eggs without getting shells in the bowl, how to flip pancakes without making a mess, how to season food to taste. Emma was completely absorbed, hanging on Lily's every word, following her instructions with intense concentration. Gabriel pulled out his phone and took a picture of them together, Emma standing on a step stool next to Lily, both of them laughing as they worked. When they brought the food out, Emma was practically glowing with pride. "Daddy, I made the eggs. Miss Lily helped, but I did most of it myself." Gabriel took a bite and made an exaggerated expression of surprise. "These are the best eggs I've ever had. You're a natural chef, just like Miss Lily." Emma beamed and looked at Lily. "Do you think I could really be a chef someday?" "I think you can be anything you want to be," Lily said. "But you definitely have good instincts in the kitchen." As they ate, Gabriel found himself thinking about Lily's restaurant dream. He had the resources to help her, the connections to make it happen. But he also knew that offering help to someone as proud and independent as Lily would require delicacy. "Lily," he said carefully, "I hope you don't mind me asking, but what's your biggest obstacle to opening your restaurant? Is it just the money or are there other challenges?" Lily looked at him curiously. "Why do you ask?" "I'm just interested. I've been in business for a long time, and I know how challenging it can be to start something new. Well, money is definitely the biggest issue. I've been saving for 3 years and I'm still not even close to having enough for a down payment on a space, let alone equipment and everything else. And then there's getting permits, finding reliable suppliers, hiring staff." She shrugged. "Sometimes it feels impossible." Gabriel nodded thoughtfully. "What if some of those obstacles weren't as big as they seem? What if there were ways to make it more manageable?" Lily gave him a skeptical look. "Are you about to try to sell me something? Because I've heard every get-rich-quick scheme in the book." Gabriel laughed. "No, nothing like that. I just think that sometimes we assume things are harder than they have to be. Good ideas deserve support." "Miss Lily," Emma said, tugging on Lily's sleeve, "when you open your restaurant, can I help you cook sometimes?" Lily's expression softened. "I would love that, Emma. You can be my sous chef." "What's a sous chef?" "It's the chef's most important helper. The person who helps make everything perfect." Emma considered this seriously. "I think I'd be a very good sous chef." "I think so too." Gabriel watched this exchange with a growing sense of certainty. Lily wasn't just good for Emma, she was good for both of them. She brought light and warmth into their lives, made them both feel like they could be better versions of themselves. As they prepared to leave, Gabriel lingered at the counter while Emma ran to the bathroom. "Lily," he said quietly, "I want you to know how much these past few weeks have meant to Emma. And to me. You've brought joy back into our lives when I didn't think that was possible." Lily's cheeks flushed pink. "You don't have to thank me. I care about Emma. She's special." "She is. But so are you." Gabriel paused, then took a leap of faith. "Would you like to have dinner with us sometime? Not here, not anywhere fancy. Just at our house. Emma would love to show you her room and I make a decent spaghetti." Lily hesitated. "Gabriel, I don't want you to feel like you owe me anything." "I don't. I'm asking because I'd like to spend more time with you. Because Emma lights up when you're around and honestly, so do I." Lily bit her lip, considering. "Okay. I'd like that. Tomorrow night? I'll pick you up after your shift. Actually, tomorrow's my day off. I could come by earlier, maybe help with the cooking?" Gabriel smiled. "That would be perfect." As they drove home, Emma chattered excitedly about her cooking lesson and the plans for dinner the next night. Gabriel found himself looking forward to it more than he had looked forward to anything in months. For the first time since Sarah died, he felt like they were building something new, something good. Something that honored Sarah's memory while allowing them to move forward. Emma fell asleep in the car again, and Gabriel carried her up to her room, tucking her in with Coco. As he kissed her forehead, she stirred slightly. "Daddy?" she whispered. "Yes, sweetheart. I think Miss Lily is going to be very important to us." Gabriel's throat tightened. "I think so too, Emma. I think so too." The next evening, Gabriel found himself checking his reflection in the hallway mirror for the third time. He was nervous, which was ridiculous. It was just dinner at home with a friend who happened to make his heart race every time she smiled. Emma was practically vibrating with excitement, having spent the entire day cleaning her room and picking out the perfect outfit for Lily's visit. She had chosen her favorite purple dress and had insisted on wearing the small pearl necklace that had belonged to her mother. "Do you think Miss Lily will like my room?" Emma asked for the 10th time that day. "I think she'll love it," Gabriel assured her. "And I think she'll love spending time with you even more." The doorbell rang at exactly 6 o'clock, and Emma raced to answer it with Gabriel close behind. Lily stood on the doorstep holding a small bouquet of flowers and a paper bag. "These are for you," she said, handing the flowers to Emma. "And this," she held up the bag, "is my contribution to dinner. I hope you don't mind, but I brought ingredients for my grandmother's bread recipe. I thought we could make it together." Emma buried her face in the flowers, inhaling deeply. "They smell so good. Daddy, can we put them in water?" As they arranged the flowers in a vase, Gabriel found himself watching Lily take in their home. It was a beautiful house, there was no denying that, but he suddenly saw it through her eyes: too big, too perfect, too much like a museum and not enough like a home where a family actually lived. "Your house is beautiful," Lily said politely. "It's too big," Gabriel said honestly. "Sarah picked it out when we were first married. She had this vision of filling it with children and noise and life. But now it just feels empty," Emma finished quietly. Lily knelt down to Emma's level. "You know what I think? I think houses become homes when they're filled with people who love each other. And you two definitely love each other." Emma smiled and took Lily's hand. "Come on. I want to show you my room." Gabriel followed as Emma led Lily upstairs, chattering excitedly about her stuffed animal collection and her art projects from school. Lily admired everything with genuine enthusiasm, asking questions about Emma's drawings and listening intently to the stories behind each treasure. "And this," Emma said, picking up a framed photo from her bedside table, "is my mommy." Gabriel tensed, waiting for the moment to turn sad, but Lily simply took the photo and studied it with a gentle smile. "She's beautiful," Lily said. "You look just like her. And she looks like she was very happy." "She was," Emma said matter-of-factly. "She laughed a lot. And she gave the best hugs." "I bet she did. And I bet she loved you so much." Emma nodded. "She did. And now she's in heaven, but Daddy says she still loves me from there." "Your daddy is absolutely right about that." Gabriel felt his eyes getting misty as he watched Lily navigate this conversation with such grace and sensitivity. She didn't try to change the subject or make light of Emma's loss. She simply acknowledged it and moved forward naturally. In the kitchen, Lily took over with an easy confidence that made Gabriel realize how much he had been missing. She showed Emma how to knead bread dough, explaining that the secret was to push and fold, until the dough became smooth and elastic. "Can you feel how it's changing?" Lily asked Emma, guiding her small hands as they worked the dough together. "It's getting softer. And it's not sticky anymore." "That's exactly right. Bread dough is like friendship: the more time and care you put into it, the better it becomes." Gabriel found himself leaning against the counter, watching them work together. Emma was completely absorbed, following Lily's instructions with the same intense concentration she had shown at the diner. But more than that, she was relaxed and happy in a way Gabriel hadn't seen since before Sarah died. "Your turn, Daddy," Emma said, waving him over. "Miss Lily is going to teach you too." Gabriel joined them at the counter, and Lily guided his hands just as she had Emma's. Her touch was warm and gentle, and Gabriel found himself acutely aware of her closeness, the way she smelled like vanilla and cinnamon, the way her hair fell across her cheek as she concentrated. "You're a natural," Lily said, smiling up at him. "I think cooking might run in the family." While the bread rose, they worked together on the spaghetti dinner. Lily showed Emma how to make a simple tomato sauce from scratch, explaining each ingredient and why it was important. Gabriel prepared the salad and set the table, marveling at how natural it all felt, how right. Miss Lily, Emma said as they sat down to eat, this is the best dinner we've ever had. That's because we made it together, Lily replied. Food always tastes better when it's made with love. After dinner, Emma convinced Lily to read her a bedtime story. Gabriel lingered in the doorway, watching as Emma curled up next to Lily on her bed, Coco tucked under one arm while she listened to the adventures of a brave princess. When Emma finally fell asleep, Gabriel and Lily made their way back downstairs. The bread had finished baking, and the house smelled like home in a way it hadn't in months. Thank you, Gabriel said as they sat in the living room with cups of coffee. For everything. Emma hasn't been that happy since. She's a wonderful little girl, Lily said. She just needed someone to see how special she is. You're good with her. Natural. Do you have experience with kids? Lily shook her head. Not really. I help my neighbor sometimes with her kids, but mostly I just remember what it felt like to be Emma's age and want someone to pay attention to me. Gabriel studied her face in the soft lamplight. Tell me about your family. Lily was quiet for a moment. It's just me and my mom now. My dad left when I was 12. Mom worked 3 jobs to keep us afloat and she's been sick for the past few years. That's part of why the restaurant dream feels so far away. Most of my savings go to her medical bills. Gabriel felt a surge of admiration for this woman who had overcome so much and still managed to radiate warmth and kindness. I'm sorry. That must be difficult. It is what it is. Mom always told me that life isn't about what happens to you, it's about how you choose to respond to what happens to you. They sat in comfortable silence for a moment, and Gabriel found himself thinking about all the conversations he'd never had with Sarah, all the dreams they'd never shared because he'd been too busy building his empire to pay attention to the woman beside him. Lily, he said carefully, I've been thinking about what you said yesterday. About your restaurant. She tensed slightly. Gabriel, if this is about money? Just hear me out. I'm a businessman and I recognize a good investment when I see one. You have a clear vision, obvious talent, and the kind of passion that can't be taught. What you're missing is capital and connections. I can't accept charity, Lily said firmly. I'm not offering charity. I'm offering a business partnership. You bring your culinary skills and your vision, I bring the funding and business expertise. We split ownership based on our respective contributions. Lily stared at him. You're serious. Completely serious. I've seen how you interact with people, how you make them feel welcome and cared for. I've tasted your food. I've watched you with Emma. You have everything it takes to run a successful restaurant. But why? Why would you want to do this? Gabriel thought about how to answer that. Because Emma lights up when she talks about you. Because you've brought joy back into our lives. Because I believe in your dream and I want to help make it happen. Lily was quiet for a long time, staring into her coffee cup. This is a lot to think about. Of course it is. Take all the time you need. But Lily? He waited until she looked up at him. Don't say no because you think you don't deserve it. You do. You deserve to have your dreams come true. When Gabriel dropped Lily off at her apartment later that night, she turned to him before getting out of the car. Thank you for tonight. For everything. Emma is lucky to have you as her father. I'm the lucky one, Gabriel said. Both Emma and I are lucky to have you in our lives. As he drove home, Gabriel felt something he hadn't felt in a long time. Hope. Hope that Emma would continue to heal and grow. Hope that he could be the father she deserved. And hope that maybe, just maybe, Lily would take a chance on the partnership he'd offered in business and perhaps in life. A week had passed since Gabriel's dinner proposal, and Lily still hadn't given him an answer. She continued to serve them at the diner each morning, but Gabriel could see the wheels turning in her mind, could sense her wrestling with the decision. Emma, oblivious to the adult complications, continued to chatter excitedly about cooking lessons and restaurant plans. She had started drawing pictures of what she thought Lily's restaurant should look like, complete with rainbow pancakes on the menu and a special section for stuffed animals. Look, Miss Lily, Emma said, sliding one of her drawings across the table. I drew your restaurant. See, there's the community table you talked about, and there's the herb garden, and there's you cooking. Lily studied the drawing with a soft smile. This is beautiful, Emma. You're quite the architect. Gabriel watched as Lily traced the lines of Emma's drawing with her finger, and he could see the longing in her eyes. She wanted this dream so badly she could taste it, but her pride was holding her back. Miss Lily, Emma said, Daddy says you're thinking about his business idea. Are you going to say yes? Lily glanced at Gabriel, then back at Emma. It's a very big decision, sweetheart. I want to make sure I think about it carefully. But you want to have a restaurant, right? Very much. And Daddy wants to help you, right? Yes, he does. Emma looked between them with the simple logic of a child. Then why don't you just do it? When I want something and someone wants to help me get it, I say yes. Gabriel couldn't help but smile. It's a little more complicated than that, Emma. What? Grown-ups make everything so complicated. Later, after Emma had gone to use the restroom, Gabriel leaned across the table toward Lily. She has a point, you know. We're making this more complicated than it needs to be. Lily sighed. Gabriel, you don't understand. I've been taking care of myself since I was 12 years old. The idea of accepting help, especially from someone like you. Someone like me? Someone successful, wealthy, established. What if I fail? What if I disappoint you? What if you succeed? Gabriel interrupted gently. What if this is exactly what you're meant to do? What if the only thing standing between you and your dream is your fear of accepting help? Lily was quiet for a moment. I need to ask you something, and I need you to be honest with me. Okay. Is this really about business or is it about something else? Gabriel felt his cheeks warm. What do you mean? I mean, are you offering to help me because you think I'm a good investment or because you feel sorry for me or because... She trailed off, looking uncomfortable. Because I'm falling for you? Gabriel finished quietly. Lily's eyes widened. Are you? Gabriel looked around the diner at the place where they had first met, where Emma had first smiled after months of sadness, where he had first felt hope again. Yes, he said simply. I am. But that's not why I'm offering to help you. I'm offering because you're talented and passionate and you deserve to have your dreams come true. The fact that I'm falling for you is just a bonus. Lily stared at him, and Gabriel could see a dozen emotions flickering across her face. Gabriel? I know it's complicated. I know I come with baggage, a grieving daughter, a dead wife, more money than I know what to do with. But I also know that you make me want to be better than I am. You make Emma laugh. You make both of us feel like we might actually be okay. Emma returned from the bathroom before Lily could respond, sliding back into the booth with her usual enthusiasm. What are you guys talking about? Just business stuff, Gabriel said, not taking his eyes off Lily. Boring, Emma declared. Can we talk about something fun? Like cooking lessons. That afternoon, Gabriel found himself doing something he hadn't done in months, leaving work early. He picked up Emma from school and drove to the small park near their house, the one with the duck pond that Sarah used to love. They sat on a bench feeding the ducks with breadcrumbs Gabriel had grabbed from the kitchen, watching as Emma's face lit up with delight at the way the birds flocked around them. Daddy, Emma said, throwing another handful of crumbs into the water, do you think Miss Lily will say yes to your restaurant idea? I don't know, sweetheart. I hope so. I think she's scared. Gabriel looked at his daughter with surprise. Why do you think that? Because when grown-ups want something really bad but they're not sure if they should take it, they get this look on their face. Like they're happy and worried at the same time. Miss Lily gets that look when she talks about the restaurant. Gabriel marveled at his daughter's perception. You're very wise, Emma. Mommy used to say that kids see things that grown-ups miss because we don't make everything so complicated. She was right about that. Emma was quiet for a moment, then asked, Daddy, do you like Miss Lily the way you liked Mommy? Gabriel's breath caught. He had been wondering when this conversation would come, but he still felt unprepared for it. What do you mean, sweetheart? I mean, do you like her? Like, do you want to marry her and stuff? Gabriel chose his words carefully. I care about Miss Lily very much. She's been very good to both of us. But do you love her? Gabriel looked out at the pond, watching the ducks paddle peacefully across the water. I think I might, Emma. Would that be okay with you? Emma considered this seriously. I think Mommy would want us to be happy. And Miss Lily makes us happy, doesn't she? She does. Then I think it would be okay. Besides, I already asked Miss Lily if she wanted to be my mom, and she said she would be honored. Gabriel nearly choked on his coffee. You asked her what? Emma grinned. Last week when she was teaching me to make pancakes. I asked her if she wanted to be my new mom, and she got all teary and said it would be the greatest honor of her life, but that was up to you and me to decide. Gabriel shook his head in amazement. Even when Emma had put her on the spot, Lily had responded with grace and sensitivity. What did you tell her? I told her I would think about it. And I did think about it, and I decided that I would like her to be my mom. If that's okay with you. Gabriel pulled Emma close, his heart full to bursting. I think that would be very okay with me. That evening, Gabriel found himself standing outside Lily's apartment building with a bouquet of flowers and a folder full of business plans. He had spent the afternoon putting together a proper proposal, complete with financial projections and market analysis. He wanted to show her that this wasn't just a whim, it was a solid business opportunity. Lily answered the door in jeans and a sweater, her hair pulled back in a messy bun. She looked beautiful and approachable, and Gabriel felt his heart skip a beat. "Gabriel? What are you doing here?" "I brought you something." He held out the folder. "A proper business proposal. I want you to see that I'm serious about this." Lily took the folder with a puzzled expression. "You didn't have to do all this work." "Yes, I did. Because I want you to know that this isn't charity or pity or me trying to impress you. This is a legitimate business opportunity that I believe in." Lily invited him in, and Gabriel found himself in a small but cozy apartment that was clearly decorated on a budget but filled with warmth and personality. There were plants on every surface, books stacked on makeshift shelves, and the smell of something delicious coming from the kitchen. "Were you cooking?" Gabriel asked. "Just experimenting with a new recipe. My neighbor's little boy is sick and I'm making him soup." Of course she was. Gabriel watched as Lily stirred a pot on the stove, tasting and adjusting seasoning with the expertise of someone who had been cooking all her life. "Lily," he said, "I need to tell you something." She turned to face him, wooden spoon still in her hand. "Emma asked me today if I love you. And I realized that I do. I love the way you make her laugh, the way you listen to her stories, the way you made her feel special on her birthday. I love your passion for cooking, your kindness to strangers, your strength in the face of challenges." Lily's eyes filled with tears. "Gabriel? I know it's soon. I know it's complicated. But I also know that life is short and precious, and when you find someone who makes you want to be better, you don't let them go." Lily set down the spoon and walked toward him. "I love you too," she said quietly. "I've been trying not to because it seemed impossible, but I do. I love you and I love Emma, and the thought of being part of your family is the most beautiful dream I never dared to have." Gabriel reached for her, pulling her into his arms, and when he kissed her, it felt like coming home. It felt like hope and possibility and the promise of something beautiful. When they broke apart, Lily looked up at him with shining eyes. "So," she said, "about that business proposal?" Gabriel laughed. "Are you ready to be my partner?" "In business and in life," Lily said, standing on her toes to kiss him again. Outside it started to rain, but inside Lily's small apartment, everything was warm and bright and full of possibility. 3 months had passed since Lily agreed to become Gabriel's business partner, and their relationship had blossomed into something beautiful and deep. They had found the perfect location for the restaurant, a cozy space in the arts district with exposed brick walls and big windows that let in lots of natural light. Emma spent her afternoons there after school, doing homework at what would become the community table, while Gabriel and Lily worked on renovations. But despite the progress they were making, Gabriel could feel a shadow hanging over their happiness. He hadn't told Lily the whole truth about Sarah's death, about the divorce papers, about the fight that had sent his wife driving into the night. The guilt ate at him, especially on nights when he held Lily close and felt her warmth and love surrounding him. Emma had adjusted beautifully to having Lily in their lives. She called her Miss Lily in public but had started slipping and calling her Mom at home, which made Lily's eyes fill with happy tears every time. They had developed their own traditions: Saturday morning pancakes, Sunday afternoon cooking lessons, bedtime stories that Lily made up on the spot. But Gabriel knew that his relationship with Lily was built on an incomplete foundation. She deserved to know the truth about his past, about the kind of husband he had been, about the reasons his marriage had fallen apart. The opportunity came on a quiet evening in November. Emma was spending the night at her friend Jessica's house, and Gabriel and Lily were at the restaurant space, painting the walls a warm yellow that Lily had chosen because it reminded her of sunshine. "I love this color," Lily said, stepping back to admire their work. "It's going to make people feel happy the moment they walk in." Gabriel watched her, this woman who thought about how to make others feel happy, who put so much care into every detail, who had brought light into the darkest period of his life. "Lily," he said, setting down his paintbrush, "there's something I need to tell you." Something in his tone made her turn to face him fully. "What is it?" Gabriel took a deep breath. "About Sarah. About my marriage. I haven't been completely honest with you." Lily's expression grew serious. "Okay, tell me." Gabriel sat down on one of the paint cans they were using as makeshift chairs. "You know that Sarah died in a car accident. But what I didn't tell you is that we were getting divorced. Or rather, she wanted a divorce. She had already filed the papers." Lily was quiet, waiting for him to continue. "We had been having problems for years. I was so focused on building my business that I ignored my family. I worked 18-hour days, traveled constantly, missed school plays and birthday parties and family dinners. Sarah felt like she was raising Emma alone, and she was right. Gabriel's voice cracked as he continued. The night she died, we had a terrible fight. She said she couldn't do it anymore, couldn't pretend we were happy when we were both miserable. She said she deserved better than a husband who treated his business like it was more important than his family. Lily moved closer, sitting on another paint can facing him. She left the divorce papers on my desk and told me she was going to stay at her sister's house for a few days while I decided whether I wanted to fight for our marriage or just sign the papers and be done with it. She stormed out, got in her car and... Gabriel's voice broke entirely. Lily reached for his hands. Gabriel, I'm so sorry. The worst part is that she was right about everything. I was a terrible husband. I took her for granted, ignored her needs, prioritized money and success over love and family. And now she's gone and I can never make it right with her. Gabriel looked up at Lily through his tears. I need you to know what kind of man you're getting involved with. I failed at the most important relationship of my life. I drove away the mother of my child. I'm not sure I deserve a second chance. Lily was quiet for a long moment, and Gabriel felt his heart hammering in his chest. This was it. This was when she would realize she had made a mistake, that she couldn't trust him, that she didn't want to risk her heart on someone who had already proven he could destroy a marriage. Finally Lily spoke. Can I ask you something? Gabriel nodded. Do you think Sarah would want you to spend the rest of your life punishing yourself for the mistakes you made in your marriage? Gabriel was taken aback by the question. I don't know. Do you think she would want Emma to grow up with a father who was consumed by guilt and regret? No. She would want Emma to be happy. And do you think she would want you to push away someone who loves you and Emma, someone who makes you both happy because you're afraid you don't deserve love? Gabriel stared at Lily, seeing the wisdom and compassion in her eyes. I never thought about it that way. Gabriel, I'm not Sarah. What happened in your marriage with her doesn't define what will happen between us. Yes, you made mistakes. Yes, you hurt her. But that doesn't mean you're doomed to repeat those mistakes. Lily moved from her paint can to sit beside him. The Gabriel I know puts Emma first in everything he does. The Gabriel I know listens when I talk about my dreams and helps make them come true. The Gabriel I know is present and attentive and loving. But what if I mess this up too? What if I fall back into old patterns? Then we'll work through it together. That's what people do when they love each other. They communicate, they support each other, they grow together. Gabriel felt tears streaming down his face. I don't know how to do this, Lily. I don't know how to be in a healthy relationship. Neither do I, Lily said softly. My only serious relationship was with a guy who left me for someone else. But we can figure it out together. We can learn together. She cupped his face in her hands. Gabriel, you are not the same man you were 3 years ago. Losing Sarah changed you. Raising Emma alone changed you. You've learned to prioritize the people you love. You've learned that success means nothing if you don't have people to share it with. How can you be so sure? Because I see how you are with Emma. I see how you've changed your entire life to be present for her. I see how you listen to her, how you put her needs first, how you've created space in your world for what matters most. Gabriel pulled Lily close, holding her tight against his chest. I love you so much it scares me. I love you too. And loving someone is always scary because it means risking being hurt. But Gabriel, the alternative is being alone, and that's scarier than anything. They sat in silence for a while, holding each other in the space that would soon become their restaurant, surrounded by the smell of fresh paint and the promise of new beginnings. There's something else, Gabriel said eventually. What? Emma wants you to adopt her. Officially. She asked me about it last week. Lily pulled back to look at him. She did. She said she knows you're not her biological mother, but you're the mom of her heart, and she wants it to be official. She wants to have your name too. Lily's eyes filled with tears. What did you tell her? I told her that would be up to you. But Lily, I want that too. I want us to be a real family. I want to marry you and adopt you into our lives permanently. Lily was crying now, happy tears that sparkled in the overhead lights. Is that a proposal? Gabriel laughed, suddenly realizing what he had just said. I guess it is. Not very romantic, sitting on paint cans in an unfinished restaurant. It's perfect, Lily said, kissing him softly. It's us. Is that a yes? It's a yes to all of it. Yes to marrying you, yes to adopting Emma, yes to building a life together. Gabriel kissed her again, deeper this time, tasting the salt of happy tears and the sweetness of second chances. Outside, the November wind rattled the windows, but inside their future restaurant, everything was warm and bright and full of love. We should call Emma, Lily said eventually. Tell her the good news. Gabriel pulled out his phone, and Emma's face appeared on the screen, bright with excitement even at 9 o'clock at night. Daddy? Miss Lily? Are you at the restaurant? We are, Gabriel said. And we have some news for you. What kind of news? The kind where Miss Lily becomes your mom for real and we all become a family officially. Emma's shriek of joy was so loud that Jessica's parents probably heard it from downstairs. Really? Really, really? Really, really, Lily said, leaning into the frame. If that's what you want. It's what I want more than anything in the whole world. I'm going to tell Jessica right now. After they hung up, Gabriel and Lily looked around their restaurant, imagining it filled with families sharing meals, friends catching up over coffee, children learning to cook in the kitchen. We're really doing this, Lily said. All of it. All of it, Gabriel agreed. And it's going to be beautiful. Gabriel should have known that happiness this pure couldn't last without being tested. The blow came on a Tuesday morning in December, just 3 weeks before the restaurant's planned opening. He was in his office reviewing the final permits when his assistant buzzed him. Mr. Richardson? There's a Leonard Hayes here to see you. He says it's urgent. Gabriel frowned. Leonard Hayes was his biggest business rival, a man who had spent years trying to acquire Gabriel's hotel properties through increasingly aggressive tactics. Gabriel couldn't imagine what Hayes wanted, but he doubted it was anything good. Hayes walked into Gabriel's office with the confidence of a man who held all the cards. He was impeccably dressed as always, but there was something predatory in his smile that made Gabriel's skin crawl. Gabriel, Hayes said, settling into the chair across from Gabriel's desk without being invited. Congratulations on your little restaurant venture. I hear it's opening soon. What do you want, Leonard? Hayes pulled out a tablet and slid it across the desk. I want you to see what happens when you get distracted from your real business. Gabriel looked at the screen and felt his blood run cold. It was a detailed analysis of his hotel properties, showing declining occupancy rates, missed opportunities and potential areas where a competitor could move in and steal market share. You've been so busy playing house with your waitress girlfriend that you've taken your eye off the ball, Hayes said with a smug grin. 3 of your properties are vulnerable to hostile takeover, and I happen to have the financing in place to make it happen. Gabriel forced himself to remain calm. What's your point, Leonard? My point is that you have a choice to make. You can focus on your real business and protect what you've built, or you can keep playing restaurant and watch your empire crumble. Are you threatening me? I'm offering you business advice. Close the restaurant, end this ridiculous relationship and get back to what you do best. Or lose everything you've worked for. Gabriel stood up, his hands clenched into fists. Get out of my office. Hayes smiled as he collected his tablet. Think about it, Gabriel. Is one woman really worth destroying everything you've built? Your daughter's future depends on the choices you make now. After Hayes left, Gabriel sat alone in his office, staring at the city skyline he had once thought he could conquer. The truth was Hayes wasn't entirely wrong. Gabriel had been so focused on the restaurant and his relationship with Lily that he had delegated more of his hotel business than ever before. But for the first time in his life, that hadn't felt like a problem, it had felt like balance. Now, faced with the possibility of losing everything, Gabriel felt the old familiar panic rising in his chest. What if he couldn't protect what he had built? What if his distraction cost Emma her future security? His phone rang and Emma's school appeared on the caller ID. Gabriel's heart stopped. Mr. Richardson? This is Principal Martinez. I'm calling because Emma's grandmother is here to pick her up, but we don't have her listed as an authorized contact. Emma's grandmother? Gabriel's blood ran cold. Sarah's mother, Patricia, had barely spoken to him since the funeral. Did she say why she was there? She said there was a family emergency and that you had sent her. But our policy requires authorization from a parent. Don't let Emma leave with her, Gabriel said, already grabbing his keys. I'm on my way. Gabriel broke every speed limit getting to Emma's school. He found Patricia waiting in the principal's office, her face set in hard lines that reminded him painfully of Sarah. Patricia, Gabriel said carefully. What's going on? Patricia stood up, her eyes cold. I'm taking Emma home with me. This has gone on long enough. I don't understand. Taking her home for what? Gabriel, you're living with a woman Emma barely knows. You're about to marry someone you met 6 months ago. You're opening a restaurant when you should be focused on your daughter's stability. Gabriel felt the walls closing in. How do you know about the restaurant? I know about everything. I know about your business troubles, your relationship with this waitress, Your complete abandonment of everything Sarah built. The pieces clicked into place. You hired Hayes, didn't you? You're working with him. Patricia's silence was answer enough. Patricia, you can't just take Emma. I'm her father. You're a father who is making reckless decisions that will impact her future. I've consulted with a lawyer, Gabriel. Given your recent instability and poor choices, I have grounds to file for custody. Gabriel felt like he was drowning. Emma is happy. For the first time since Sarah died, she's truly happy. With a stranger. You've replaced her mother with the first woman who showed you attention. That's not what happened, and you know it. Principal Martinez cleared her throat. Perhaps we should call Emma in and see what she wants? When Emma walked into the office and saw her grandmother, her face lit up briefly before confusion took over. Grandma Pat, what are you doing here? I came to take you home with me for a while, sweetheart. Would you like that? Emma looked between her grandmother and her father, clearly sensing the tension. Home where? I live with Daddy and Miss Lily. I mean home to my house. Where your mother grew up. Where you can have stability and proper care. Emma's expression grew wary. But I like living with Daddy and Miss Lily. We're getting married and she's going to be my mom and we're opening a restaurant. Patricia's face hardened. Emma, sweetheart, sometimes adults make decisions that aren't in everyone's best interest. Your father is going through a difficult time. No, he's not, Emma said firmly. He's happy. We're all happy. Gabriel knelt down to Emma's level. Emma, do you want to go stay with Grandma Pat for a while? Emma shook her head vigorously. I want to stay with you and Miss Lily. Please don't make me go away. Gabriel's heart broke as he saw the fear in his daughter's eyes, the same fear he had seen after Sarah died, the terror of losing everyone she loved. You're not going anywhere you don't want to go, Gabriel said firmly, standing up to face Patricia. Emma stays with me. This isn't over, Gabriel, Patricia said coldly. I'll see you in court. After Patricia left, Gabriel sat in his car outside Emma's school, his hands shaking. Everything was falling apart. His business was under attack, his future mother-in-law was threatening legal action, and the woman he loved was about to get caught in the crossfire. That evening, Gabriel sat Emma down in the living room while Lily made dinner. He could hear her humming in the kitchen, blissfully unaware of the storm that was about to hit them. Emma, Gabriel said carefully, I need to ask you something important. If someone said you couldn't live with Miss Lily and me anymore, what would you say? Emma's eyes filled with tears. I would say they're wrong. I would say Miss Lily is my mom now and you're my daddy and we're a family. Even if they said it would be safer for you? Better for you? Nothing would be better than being with you and Miss Lily. Please don't send me away, Daddy. I promise I'll be good. Gabriel pulled Emma close, his own eyes wet. You're already perfect, sweetheart. And I'm not sending you anywhere. But even as he said the words, Gabriel knew he was facing an impossible choice. If he continued on this path, marrying Lily, opening the restaurant, building the life they had planned, he could lose his business empire and potentially lose Emma to Patricia's custody challenge. If he stepped back, focused on his hotels, ended his relationship with Lily, he could protect his business and probably keep Emma safe from legal challenges. But he would break both their hearts in the process. That night, after Emma was asleep, Gabriel told Lily everything. He watched as the joy and excitement drained from her face, replaced by understanding and heartbreak. You have to choose, Lily said quietly. Emma's stability and your business, or us. That's not a choice I should have to make, Gabriel said desperately. But it's the choice you're facing. Lily sat down heavily on the couch. Gabriel, I won't be the reason Emma gets taken away from you. I won't be the reason you lose everything you've built. Lily, don't do this. We can fight this together. How? By dragging Emma through a custody battle? By watching your business crumble while we plan a wedding? Gabriel reached for her, but Lily stood up, putting distance between them. I think, she said, her voice barely a whisper, I think maybe we moved too fast. Maybe we got caught up in the fairy tale and forgot about reality. That's not true and you know it. Do I? Gabriel, 6 months ago you were a grieving widower who could barely connect with his own daughter. Now you're ready to remarry and start a business with someone you barely know. Gabriel felt like she had slapped him. Is that really what you think? That I barely know you? Lily's tears started then, silent and devastating. I think we know how we make each other feel. But maybe that's not enough to build a life on. Lily, please. Don't let them win. Don't let them tear us apart. I'm not letting them do anything. I'm protecting Emma and I'm protecting you from making a mistake you'll regret. The only mistake I'll regret is letting you walk away. Lily looked at him for a long moment, memorizing his face. I love you, Gabriel. I love you and Emma more than I've ever loved anything. That's exactly why I have to go. She walked toward the door, then stopped. The restaurant? I'll sign over my part of the partnership. You can sell it, use the money to shore up your hotels. I don't want the restaurant without you. Then close it. But don't lose everything because of me. After Lily left, Gabriel sat alone in his living room, surrounded by the remnants of the life they had built together. Emma's drawings of the restaurant were still on the coffee table. Lily's cookbook was still on the kitchen counter. The engagement ring he had bought but not yet given her was still in his desk drawer. He had lost her. In trying to protect everything he cared about, he had lost the person who mattered most. Upstairs, Emma was sleeping peacefully, unaware that her world was about to change again. Gabriel climbed the stairs and stood in her doorway, watching her breathe. Tomorrow he would have to tell his daughter that Miss Lily wasn't coming back. Tomorrow he would have to explain why their family was broken again. Tomorrow he would have to figure out how to live without the woman who had taught them both how to be happy. Gabriel spent 3 weeks in a haze of misery and regret. He threw himself back into his hotel business with the kind of single-minded focus that had built his empire in the first place. He worked 18-hour days, traveled between properties, analyzed market reports, and gradually began to shore up the vulnerabilities that Hayes had identified. But none of it mattered. Success felt hollow when he had no one to share it with. Emma had taken Lily's departure harder than Gabriel had expected. She had cried for days, asking over and over when Miss Lily was coming back, why she had left without saying goodbye, whether Emma had done something wrong. She didn't leave because of you, Gabriel had told her repeatedly. She left because she loves us and wants to protect us. That doesn't make any sense, Emma had replied with the brutal honesty of an 8-year-old. If someone loves you, they stay with you. Gabriel couldn't argue with that logic because he agreed with it completely. The restaurant space sat empty, a monument to dreams abandoned. Gabriel had tried to sell it, but every time he walked through the door and saw the yellow walls they had painted together, he couldn't go through with it. It was Emma who finally broke him out of his spiral. Daddy, she said one evening as they sat eating takeout Chinese food in their too big house, I want to go see Miss Lily. Emma, we talked about this. Miss Lily is sad just like we are. Jessica's mom saw her at the grocery store, and she said Miss Lily looked like she had been crying. Gabriel felt his heart clench. Emma, I know you think you're protecting me by keeping us apart, but Daddy, I'm sad all the time now. I was happy when Miss Lily was here. We were all happy. Gabriel looked at his daughter, really looked at her, and saw the truth he had been trying to avoid. Emma was fading again, becoming the withdrawn, quiet child she had been right after Sarah died. What if Grandma Pat tries to take you away again? Emma's expression grew fierce. Then I'll tell the judge that I want to stay with you and Miss Lily. I'll tell them that we're a family and families stay together. That night, after Emma went to bed, Gabriel sat in his office staring at the divorce papers he had never thrown away. Sarah's signature stared back at him, a reminder of what happened when pride and fear got in the way of love. He picked up his phone and called Lily's number. It went straight to voicemail, as it had every time he had tried to call over the past 3 weeks. Lily, he said after the beep, I know you don't want to talk to me. I know you think you're protecting Emma and me by staying away. But Emma misses you. I miss you. And I've realized something: I'd rather fight for our family and lose than give up without trying. The next morning, Gabriel did something he hadn't done since Sarah died. He called in sick to work. Instead, he drove to Rosie's diner, hoping to find Lily there. Rosie herself was behind the counter, and her face darkened when she saw Gabriel walk in. She don't want to see you, Rosie said before Gabriel could speak. How is she? How do you think she is? She's heartbroken. Been crying herself to sleep every night since she moved back here. Gabriel felt his chest tighten. She moved back here? Had to give up her apartment when she couldn't make rent. Been sleeping in the back office, working double shifts to save up enough to leave town. Leave town? Rosie's expression softened slightly. She thinks she can't stay here where everything reminds her of you and Emma. Says she's gonna move to Portland, start over. Gabriel felt panic rising in his throat. When? Tomorrow. Bus leaves at noon. Gabriel looked around the diner, this place where their love story had begun, where Emma had first smiled after months of sadness, where he had first felt hope again. Rosie, he said desperately, I need your help. That afternoon, Gabriel stood outside the elementary school waiting for Emma, a plan forming in his mind. When she came running out, her face lit up for the first time in weeks. Daddy, you picked me up. Are we going somewhere special? We're going to fight for our family, Gabriel said, helping Emma into the car. But I need your help. Are you ready to be brave? Emma nodded solemnly. I'm ready. They drove to the restaurant space first. Gabriel unlocked the door and led Emma inside, both of them taking in the yellow walls and the partially set-up kitchen. Emma, Gabriel said, do you remember what Miss Lily said about dreams? That they're like seeds. You have to plant them and take care of them. That's right. And sometimes when something threatens your dreams, you have to fight to protect them. Gabriel pulled out his phone and started making calls. First to his lawyer, then to his business manager, then to a florist, then to every person he could think of who had been touched by Lily's kindness. By evening, Gabriel and Emma were standing in front of the bus station with a small crowd of people, regulars from Rosie's diner, neighbors who had benefited from Lily's generous spirit, Emma's teacher who had heard about the cooking lessons, even Rosie herself. Are you sure she'll come? Emma asked nervously. She'll come, Gabriel said, though his heart was hammering with uncertainty. She has to catch the bus. At 11:45 Lily appeared, carrying a single suitcase and looking exhausted. She stopped short when she saw the crowd waiting for her. What's going on? She asked, her eyes finding Gabriel's across the gathering. Emma stepped forward, her small voice carrying clearly in the quiet terminal. Miss Lily, we came to ask you not to go. Lily's eyes filled with tears. Emma, sweetheart, I have to go. It's complicated. No, it's not, Emma said firmly. You love us and we love you. Everything else is just noise that grown-ups make because they're scared. Gabriel stepped forward then, his heart in his throat. Lily, Emma's right. I've been an idiot. I let fear make my decisions instead of love. Gabriel, nothing has changed. Your business, your mother-in-law. Everything has changed. I realized that losing you would be worse than losing everything else combined. I realized that Emma and I aren't just better with you, we're only whole with you. Gabriel dropped to one knee right there in the bus station, pulling out the engagement ring he had been carrying in his pocket for weeks. Lily Martinez, he said, his voice carrying over the crowd, I don't want to build a life without you. I don't want to run a business that doesn't include your dreams. I don't want to raise Emma without the woman who taught her how to cook and how to laugh and how to believe in family again. Lily was crying now, her hands covering her mouth. I'm asking you to marry me, Gabriel continued. I'm asking you to adopt Emma. I'm asking you to help me fight for our restaurant and our family and our future together. But your business will be fine. And if it's not, we'll figure it out together. Lily, I'd rather be broke and happy with you than rich and miserable without you. Emma stepped forward and took Lily's hand. Miss Lily, please stay. Please be my mom. Please don't make us be sad anymore. Lily looked around at all the faces watching her, Rosie beaming with pride, the diner regulars nodding encouragingly, Emma's teacher dabbing at her eyes with a tissue. All these people came here for you, Gabriel said. Because you've touched their lives, because you matter, because you belong here with us. The bus pulled up behind them, its engine rumbling loudly. Last call for Portland, the driver shouted. Lily looked at the bus, then back at Gabriel and Emma. She dropped her suitcase and fell to her knees, pulling Emma into a fierce hug. Yes, she whispered. Yes to all of it. Gabriel slipped the ring onto her finger as the crowd erupted in cheers. The bus driver honked his horn impatiently, then smiled and drove away when he realized his passenger wasn't coming. What about Patricia? Lily asked as Gabriel pulled her to her feet. Let her come, Gabriel said firmly. Let her try to take Emma away from a family who loves each other. We'll be ready for her. Emma looked up at both of them, her face radiant with joy. Does this mean we can open the restaurant now? Gabriel and Lily looked at each other and laughed, the sound echoing through the bus station like a promise of better days ahead. Yes, Lily said, kissing Emma's forehead. We can open the restaurant. We can do anything as long as we're together. As they walked back to the car, surrounded by their makeshift family of friends and supporters, Gabriel felt something he hadn't felt since Sarah died, complete certainty that they were exactly where they belonged. The fight wasn't over. There would still be custody hearings and business challenges and all the ordinary struggles of building a life together. But they would face all of it as a family, and that made everything possible. 6 months later, Gabriel stood in the kitchen of Lily's table, watching his wife put the finishing touches on a chocolate cake shaped like a castle. The restaurant had been open for 3 months, and every night they were booked solid with families and couples and friends who had heard about the magical place where food was made with love and everyone was treated like family. Princess Emma's birthday cake is ready, Lily announced, stepping back to admire her work. Gabriel smiled at the sight of his two favorite people working together. Emma, now 9 years old and legally Emma Richardson Martinez, was carefully placing edible flowers around the base of the cake, her tongue sticking out in concentration. "It's perfect, Mom," Emma said, and Gabriel's heart still skipped a beat every time Emma called Lily Mom so naturally. The custody battle with Patricia had been shorter than expected. When the judge had seen Emma's passionate testimony about wanting to stay with Gabriel and Lily, when character witnesses had testified about the stability and love in their home, when it became clear that Emma was thriving in ways she never had before, Patricia had quietly dropped her challenge. She had even come to the wedding, a small ceremony in the restaurant's garden with Emma as maid of honor and their chosen family as witnesses. Patricia had apologized to Gabriel, admitting that her grief over losing Sarah had made her lash out in destructive ways. "I can see that Emma is happy," she had said. "And I think Sarah would want her daughter to be happy more than anything else." Now Patricia visited once a month, and Emma loved showing her grandmother around the restaurant and introducing her to all the regular customers who had become like extended family. The business challenges had worked out too. Gabriel had restructured his hotel operations, bringing in a partner to handle day-to-day management while he focused on the big picture. It turned out that working fewer hours made him more effective, not less. And the restaurant was already profitable, with plans for expansion already in the works. "Daddy," Emma said, carefully carrying the finished cake toward the dining room, "can you help me with the candles?" Gabriel followed his daughter into the main dining room, which was decorated with balloons and streamers for her birthday party. 20 of Emma's classmates were running around playing games organized by Lily's cooking class assistants, while their parents chatted over coffee and samples from the new spring menu. This was what Lily had dreamed of, a place where families gathered, where children learned to love food, where everyone felt welcome and cared for. "Speech time," called out Rosie, who had become the restaurant's unofficial master of ceremonies. Gabriel stood up, tapping his fork against his water glass to get everyone's attention. The room quieted down, children and adults alike turning to listen. "1 year ago," Gabriel began, "my daughter and I were lost. We were grieving, struggling, barely able to connect with each other. Then we walked into Rosie's diner and met a waitress who changed our lives forever." He looked at Lily, who was blushing prettily in her chef's apron. Lily didn't just serve us breakfast that day. She served us hope. She served us healing. She served us the possibility of being a family again. Emma climbed up on her chair. "Can I say something too?" Gabriel nodded, lifting Emma up so everyone could see her. "I want to thank everyone for coming to my birthday party," Emma said in her clear, confident voice. "But mostly I want to thank my mom and dad for showing me that sometimes when something sad happens, something even more beautiful can grow from it." Gabriel felt tears pricking his eyes as Emma continued. "My first mom is in heaven, and I know she's happy that I have such a wonderful family now. And my mom Lily makes the best pancakes in the world and gives the best hugs and loves me just as much as if I had been born to her." The room erupted in applause, and Gabriel caught Lily wiping away tears with her apron. After the party ended and they had cleaned up the restaurant, the three of them sat at their favorite table, the community table where Emma did her homework every day after school. "Did you have a good birthday, sweetheart?" Lily asked, stroking Emma's hair. "The best birthday ever," Emma said sleepily. She had changed out of her party dress into comfortable pajamas, and she was clearly ready for bed. Gabriel looked around the restaurant, taking in the warm yellow walls, the family photos covering one corner, the children's artwork displayed proudly above the community table, the herb garden visible through the back windows. "I have an announcement," he said suddenly. Lily and Emma both looked at him with curiosity. "I've been thinking about what Emma said earlier about beautiful things growing from sad things. And I realized there's something we should do to honor that." Gabriel pulled out a folder he had been hiding under the table. "I want to start a foundation. The Sarah Richardson Memorial Foundation. We'll provide scholarships for single parents who want to go to culinary school, and we'll fund community kitchens in underserved neighborhoods." Lily's eyes filled with tears. "Gabriel, that's beautiful. I want Emma to help run it when she's older if she wants to. I want it to be a way of making sure that good things come from loss, that Sarah's memory helps other families find their way to happiness." Emma sat up straighter. "Can we name one of the kitchens after Mom Lily too?" Gabriel and Lily exchanged a look of pure love. "Of course we can," Gabriel said. As they locked up the restaurant and headed home, Gabriel reflected on the journey that had brought them here. A year ago he had been a broken man who thought his best days were behind him. Now he was a husband and father who looked forward to every single day. "What are you thinking about?" Lily asked, slipping her hand into his as they walked to the car. "Just how lucky we are," Gabriel said. "How lucky Emma and I are that you decided to give us a chance. I'm the lucky one, Lily said. A year ago I was a waitress with impossible dreams. Now I'm a wife and mother and restaurant owner, living a life better than anything I ever dared to imagine. Emma skipped ahead of them, then turned around to walk backwards so she could face them. Do you want to know a secret? What secret? Gabriel asked. The wish I made on my birthday cake at the diner the very first time we met Miss Lily? I wished for a mom who would love me and make Daddy happy. Gabriel stopped walking, overwhelmed by the perfection of it all. So really, Emma continued, Miss Lily was the answer to my birthday wish. She just took a little while to get here. Gabriel picked up Emma and spun her around, both of them laughing. Lily joined in, wrapping her arms around both of them, and for a moment they stood there in the parking lot, a family bound together by love and second chances and the magic of dreams coming true. Later that night, after Emma was asleep and they were lying in bed together, Lily turned to Gabriel with a mischievous smile. I have some news too, she said. What kind of news? The kind where our family might be getting a little bigger in about 8 months. Gabriel sat up so fast he nearly fell out of bed. Are you saying? I'm saying that Emma is going to be a big sister. Gabriel pulled Lily into his arms, kissing her deeply. I love you so much, he whispered against her lips. I love you too. All of you. Our whole beautiful, complicated, perfect family. Outside their window, the city sparkled with possibilities. Inside their home, a family slept peacefully, secure in the knowledge that they had found their way to each other against all odds. And in a small restaurant across town, the yellow walls held the memories of every meal shared, every laugh echoed, every heart healed by the simple magic of food made with love. The widowed billionaire had sworn he'd never love again. But sometimes the heart knows better than the mind. Sometimes love finds you when you're not looking for it, in a diner booth over rainbow pancakes, in the smile of a woman who sees the best in everyone, in the trust of a child who believes that families can be rebuilt and dreams can come true. Gabriel had learned that second chances don't come with guarantees, but they come with something better: hope. And hope, it turned out, was the most powerful ingredient of all. Dear readers, thank you for joining Gabriel, Emma, and Lily on their journey to finding love and family again. This story is about the beautiful truth that sometimes our greatest heartbreaks can lead us to our greatest joys, and that love has the power to heal even the deepest wounds. I'd love to hear from you. Which moment in the story touched your heart the most? Do you believe that people can truly change and grow from their past mistakes? Have you ever experienced the kind of unexpected kindness that Lily showed Gabriel and Emma? What do you think the future holds for this sweet family? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your engagement means the world to me and helps me create the stories you want to read. With love and gratitude, your storyteller.